Good morning and welcome to another episode of Wired, energizing conversation for Midland members. I'm Ryan Hinn, your host, and I am joined this morning by Caleb McKim, Energy Services Specialist here at Midland Power, to talk all about solar. And Caleb, this is a topic that is getting increasing traction. We get a lot of calls about solar energy systems, and there's a lot going on with this topic right now, isn't there?
There really is. We've just, especially even recently, we've seen a lot of increase in calls and people asking about solar and, hey, what can this do for me? And what does it even look like?
Mm-hmm.
Is there companies that we would recommend working with? Just things to know, people just generally curious. Probably the infrastructure, or not the infrastructure, the Inflation Reduction Act that recently came out,
Mm-hmm.
probably has a lot to do with that. The tax credits coming back for 30%, up to 30% federally. And so solar companies know that too, and they're out there campaigning pretty hard right now.
Well, and it seemed like we saw a lot of activity kind of in the spring, and then it kind of died off during the summer. And then, as you said, this Inflation Reduction Act and the extension of the tax credits and the increase of the tax credits is really driving a lot of solar sales people to start making those cold calls and putting the ads out. You can't scroll through Facebook without seeing solar ads. It seems like everywhere. And we know from our experience here at Midland Power that oftentimes we get calls from members that have had experiences with some of these solar sales folks where some of their claims are, well, they're dubious at best.
That, yes, unfortunately, that is correct. There's a number of members I've dealt with that have installed solar that are asking me later, why isn't it working the way that the solar company told me it would? And I think we've got some 5 things to watch out for here coming up.
Okay, yep, we'll get to those in just a second.
So that'll hopefully shed a lot of light on some things that people just can be aware of when they're considering solar or thinking about solar, things to watch out for and be educated on.
So it seems like the number one thing that we always hear is people are kind of confused about the topic of net metering. What is net metering? What does Midland do for net metering? I wonder if we could just lay that base down for us. What is net metering and what does Midland do in that regard?
Sure. So net metering is essentially where you can overproduce with your solar array. Your solar array is oversized. It's producing as much energy maybe as you even use in a year. But the sun only shines a certain percent of the time, so it's only producing all of that energy within a given window. Typically, we use the 10 a.m. to 3 p.m. time period is really when you get the most out of your solar array. With that overproduction, though, you're not using all of that energy during that time. So all that excess energy is going back onto the Midland Power grid. Net metering tracks just the total amount of energy you produce, and it tracks however much energy you use from Midland Power, and you only get billed for the difference in that. It's the way that works. With Midland Power, in order to keep our rates fair and equal across our entire membership, we don't have that. We have what's called a avoided cost rate that we would reimburse our members with solar. So any overproduction that you have is you're paid for it, but it's not paid for. You're not paid for it at the same rate that you're paying your energy for. And there's a lot that goes into why that's different. But it's a significantly less amount than what you're paying for your energy. So we don't currently have any net metering available. So every new interconnection gets put on our PERPA avoid cost rate.
And that's something that it seems like a lot of these sales folks, they either don't know or they're just not being upfront with the member about.
Yes, unfortunately, there's a lot of solar companies, especially ones from out of state, that just come in and they're trying to make a quick sale here in Iowa, and they don't really know the rates. They just want to make the sale. So a lot of them just don't even do their research, don't even pull up our website and check out what our rates are. They just want to come in, say, this is how much energy you use. this is how much energy the array is going to produce. It offsets your bill, and enjoy.
Yeah.
But unfortunately, it can lead to more headaches than enjoyment.
Well, let's get to these 5 warning signs. But before we do that, just a reminder, if you're joining us this morning or anytime watching this on replay, Midland Power is here to answer your questions about solar and any energy topics you have. Caleb and the Energy Services team is dedicated. They're here for the membership. They want to answer your questions. Never hesitate to pick up the phone or send them an email. That's your job. They're here to work for you, the member owners. And so if you're thinking about solar, if you've had consideration of it in the past, or if solar salespeople approach you and you're interested, but you just want to make sure, verify, we'll look up your usage. We'll size a system for you. We'll make sure that you're looking at something that's appropriate and that you're not going to end up going down one of these paths that we're going to get into. So is that a fair statement?
It is. We are here for you. If you have any questions, never hesitate to give us a call. We want to talk with you, want to have that interaction. So,
all right.
Definitely.
So we kind of put our heads together and came up with, these are kind of the 5 big ones we hear from members when they talk about some of the stuff that they see when the solar salespeople approach. And so let's go through these. And then obviously, Caleb, at the end, if there's members out there who are watching, we'd be happy to answer your questions. Just put them down in the comments. We're monitoring those. And so we'll get to those at the end. But let's go through these. Number 1, do you want to read them off?
So if number 1, just a general thing, solar, everything in life, really, if something seems too good to be true, it probably is. So we see a lot of ads right now. I mean, I can't scroll through Facebook. You see them on TV, the radio. Go solar for $0 down or $0 out of pocket. Mm-hmm. And
never pay an electric bill again.
Never pay an electric bill again. All that sort of stuff. Just if you hear something like that, do some research before you really buy into that. Give us a call and let us talk to you about how that might work. A lot of the cases with the Go Solar $0 down, they could put up a solar array on your roof and you might pay $0 out of pocket, but chances are you don't actually own that solar array. The solar company will own that solar array and will actually get all the tax credits that are associated with that. So it's a little bit different dynamic, if you will, with the Go Solar $0 down. So okay. You don't actually own the solar array, so be cautious about when you hear that. Understand what you're getting into.
Big red flag.
You read all the fine print on that one.
So that kind of segues into our second one, which is to beware of anyone offering any kind of deal where they're promising that you will never pay an electric bill again. Because there's a big caveat to this one, isn't there?
There really is, because as we mentioned earlier, Midland doesn't have net metering. It doesn't have any available right now, I should say. Mm-hmm. So anyone telling you that you're going to offset your electric bill is lying to you. It's, at least on Midland Power lines, they're lying to you with that. Really, solar at best might offset 20% of your bill. And so anybody telling you anything different than that is stretching the numbers just a little bit.
Well, and one thing that they often don't talk about there is the base charge, right? So most people who sign up want a solar system also want to have the backup of being connected to the grid.
Yep.
And there's a cost associated with that.
And having a grid-tied solar array is the most cost-effective way to have solar. So you're not going to get rid of that charge, that access charge, mm-hmm. is what we call it. Mm-hmm. Because that's the fee that you pay every month. It's a set charge for just being interconnected to the Midland power grid. So solar can do nothing to actually offset that.
All right, number 3.
So be cautious of anyone talking about dramatic rate increases. This is a really big thing I hear from a lot of solar companies a lot of time, is they're putting in factors of 3% to 5% rate increases per year. Historically, I just have there's nowhere where that's ever occurred before. At Midland Power, our rates on average increase less than 1% per year. That's way under inflation levels. So even with inflation being really high right now, your cost of power and the value of the power is very good for right now. So really be cautious if anyone telling you that the rate of power is going to go through the roof and it's going to increase 3 to 5% per year. All that does, it helps a payback scenario for solar, because the higher the cost of power, the quicker your solar will pay back for you. But those are numbers that are a little skewed.
Slightly fictitious.
Yes.
Number 4 on our top 5 list here: avoid anyone using unethical or high pressure sales tactics. And this is one of the ones that I think personally, I just get so angry when I hear about some of these folks in the field and some of the pressure that they apply to the members to sign and sign now.
Yeah. If someone's coming to you and saying, hey, there's this deal, but it's a limited time only and you have to sign right away. They're trying to get you to sign something right now so that you can't go talk with anybody else or come talk with us, because they don't want you to talk with us, because chances are we'll maybe shed some light on some things that they didn't want us to. But really, if you hear something like that, give us a call right away and let us help you figure out what's true and what's not. Yep.
And that kind of segues perfectly into our last point, which is,
well, avoid talking to anyone who says that they'll handle the whole process for you, that they'll work with us, that you don't have to be involved at all. We really want to work with you on these things. So it's okay to work with another solar company, but also work with us too. Make sure that it works out for you and us, and that long term, this is really going to be something that can benefit you. And we're not out to get any money from you with this or anything. It's just give us a call. We'll help you out for free. It's just a good way to make sure that you understand what you're getting into.
I think too, sometimes we hear kind of as a bonus 6, we'll hear like Midland Power is against solar power. And nothing could be further from the truth. We're all about fully informed members making the best financial decisions for themselves.
Absolutely. Midland Power is actually part owner of a company called Iowa Choice Renewables, and we can sell you solar through Iowa Choice Renewables. And if we were anti-solar, we wouldn't be part of anything like that.
Well, talk to me. What does Iowa Choice Renewables? I mean, what was the motivation behind kind of setting that up?
So the motivation actually was, there was a lot of companies, as we've mentioned, coming in and false advertisements and false promises to people, and people were ending up with systems that weren't producing what they were told that they would produce, or they weren't giving the payback or the benefit that they were told it would. So Iowa Choice Renewables was started to kind of combat that, to give people a contact to reach out to, so that they could understand what solar can actually do for them in their situation. We're a group of co-ops around the state of Iowa. So even if you're not a Midland Power member, reach out to your co-op and see what they're doing for solar. Every co-op's a little bit different. And so what's on Midland Power might be a little bit different than what is on your co-op. But Iowa Choice Renewables is here to give you unbiased, factual advice of how solar can really work for you in your situation.
And actually, we have a short clip, if we want to run that talks a little bit more about ICR.
Midland can also help members interested in installing their own renewable system.
Midland Power is actually part of a company called Iowa Choice Renewables, which helps members figure out what solar might be able to do for them and how much energy it might be able to offset, what a payback might look like on that. And so if you call us, we can take you all the way from just designing a system all the way to a turnkey system that meets your goals and your needs.
Yeah. So again, I mean, it's just another resource, right? And that's,
It is.
as a cooperative, that's what we're all about, is providing those resources to our members. So as you're saying, whether you're a Midland Power member or not, we are here and happy. We can hook you up with your local cooperative and provide you those contacts and information. Again, it's all about providing you the information you need to make the best decision for yourself. So yeah, ICR is a fantastic choice. We see a lot of folks that do, when they take advantage of solar, it's either residential, but we have a lot of commercial and small commercial businesses that also use some of those tax credits and do
Yep.
PV systems.
Yep. You see them a lot on hog confinements. You get a good steady load, and so it makes a good steady load during daylight hours. It makes it really easy to size a solar array.
Yeah.
And you get some good benefit from that, and as well as the tax credits, it can work out.
So let's switch gears real briefly. One of the things that's pretty cool that we offer here at Midland Power is we actually have a community solar array, which makes a fantastic alternative to doing on-site solar. Tell me a little bit about that, and then we'll watch a short video here in a second.
Yeah, and also a fun fact is our community solar array was installed by Iowa Choice Renewables. So we've done solar installations before, and this is a 147 kW solar array located at our Iowa Falls outpost, and members can drive by and see it out there if they want. In fact, if you want to see it personally, you give us a call and we can probably arrange that as well. But yeah, for $640 per subscription, you can buy into our community solar program, and oftentimes it actually has a quicker payback than a personal solar array. Some advantages to that is you can buy as many subscriptions as would offset 80% of your electric bill for residential customers, 50% for commercial. It's very unique that you can, like I mentioned earlier, with a personal array, on-site solar at your own home, you're maybe offsetting 20%. This is a much higher number, 50% for commercial, 80% for residential, that you have the opportunity to buy into and actually offset. You're still investing in solar. It's still that green renewable energy. You can still feel good about that. But we do all the maintenance, the upkeep. We pay any taxes, insurance, all of that. It's just a one-time fee for you. And through the duration of the program, which runs through February of 2037, you get credit on your bill each month for whatever the solar array is produced.
So you get all the benefits with none of the headaches, is basically what I'm hearing.
That is true, yep.
Well, let's take a look at this short video, talk some more about our community solar.
Midland's Community Solar Program is another example of our focus on developing innovative solutions for our members. Located at our Iowa Falls Service Center, the 150 kilowatt solar array takes the hassle out of owning solar.
If a storm comes through, I pick it up, I fix it, I make sure it works every day. You have somebody personally managing your solar off-site. You don't have to look at it, you don't have to deal with it and worry about cleaning it. Everything's taken care of for the membership from the co-op. So purchasing your solar through our community solar program is a proactive way to guarantee what your KW costs will be in the future. There's not a hidden fees, everything is black and white. We explain it all to you before you buy the contract. And it's just a big alternative to trying to have your own on your own property and maintain it.
So again, just another option. Trying to provide members wherever they're at, whatever their goals are, with those options is kind of what we're all about.
It really is. Midland Power is pro solar. I mean, that's probably the biggest lie out there that solar companies will tell you is, oh, Midland Power doesn't like solar. We don't do solar. That couldn't be further from the truth.
Yeah. Well, let's go. If anybody has any questions, we'll take a look and see. We're not seeing anything. Give people a chance here. If you've thought about installing solar and just have always had a burning question and wanted to ask it, this is a great opportunity. Just put it down in the chat. Give folks a second to do that.
Yeah.
You know, Caleb, we were talking the other day. It's pretty neat. I think, obviously Iowa is kind of becoming in some ways a hub for renewable energy. It's definitely the landscape is changing both literally and figuratively. What do you see on the horizon as far as the growth of renewable energy here in the state?
I think you continue to see it. I don't think renewable energy is just a fad. I think it's here to stay. I think you'll see a lot more large scale, especially with the wind turbines going up, and you're also hearing a lot more about some large scale solar arrays. Just recently, one of our power providers, SIPCO, installed a very large solar array. Solar is becoming a bigger part of our energy portfolio. So even when you just buy power from us, you're still buying cleaner, more renewable energy every day.
Let's go back, make sure we don't have any questions. Well, I guess we don't. But Caleb, I appreciate it so much. Thanks for stopping by the cafe. And
yeah,
if anybody has any questions, always here, Caleb and the entire Energy Services team, give us a call, send an email. We'd be happy to help you. Have a great day, everyone.